Thanks so much for joining me today. We are talking about boop boop, laugh lines, smile lines, nasolabial folds, whatever you want to call them. That's what we're addressing. We're going to go over the causes, and we're also going to go over the few treatment options that are available. I'm excited, you should be too. So right off the bat, a common misconception with these laugh lines is that if you laugh a lot, talk a lot, or smile a lot, you're doomed, and that's the reason why you're getting them. Not necessarily. Actually, the three most common reasons are A, genetics. If you have family members that have a heavier cheek here, you're probably going to get it, unfortunately. Next is environmental factors. If you're exposed to a lot of sun, maybe a lot of smoke or pollution, if you haven't been taking care of yourself with regards to the foods that you're eating, then that can actually start breaking down your collagen and elastin a little quicker, and it can start causing this to sag a little bit more. Finally, the main reason why people get these folds, and it starts at around the age of 25, is because we start losing fat here and here in your medial and lateral cheek, or the SOOFs, what we call them. And that's your deep fat. That starts shrinking, and we start noticing a big difference by the age of 25, unfortunately. Now, there are two types of laugh lines. There's a groove and there's a static line. The static line just means that it doesn't matter what you do, you're going to always see a line here, where the groove is more dependent on movement of the face. Now, if you have a groove, we may approach it one way, and if you have a static line, we may need additional options in order to treat successfully. So, first off, do we have a groove? Let's check it out. I'll show you an example here. I'm going to move up close, and this line here is a result of me losing a little bit of fat here and here. And the way to test that is either pinching the skin and lifting it up here and here, such as if we were inflating it with a filler, or a quick and easier way to do that is just take your two fingers here and here and pull up a little bit. If I pull up and my groove is gone, then that means that I'm a candidate. I'm a better candidate to just restore some of the fat that's here. I don't need a lot. I just need to restore what is lost. And most of the time that's going to go away. Now, if I do that and I still have a static line here, then the option could be to A, potentially reinflate here if we need to, and B, you may need to go in with a cannula at a superficial angle here and just give a light beading. Now, you may be thinking, you know what, this doesn't really bug me too much. Why can't you just put it in a little filler here? Well, you can. However, what happens is this groove does this, right? We are putting a filler back here and we're popping that out. Now, what's going to happen is when you talk or smile, you're going to move the product a little bit, and eventually what will happen is the product is going to sit here and here. And basically what's going to happen is it's going to look even fuller at the cheek, and it's going to look a little fuller in front here. Now, the other issue that I have with only filling this nasolabial fold is that we're taking away the natural beauty of which should be a nice V triangle. We want this raised here, where if we only inject here, we're not addressing the problem. So what you end up doing is kind of squaring or rounding off this part of the face. The bottom of the face ends up looking a little heavy, where if you just restore the natural volume that has been lost, you get a much better aesthetic result. Now, the last thing that I would recommend in order to restore that natural youthful appearance is giving two small boluses of a high G prime pillar here and here. This is called a Piriformis. And what that does is it restores this natural position of the nose, or this area of the nose. As we age, unfortunately, what happens is there's a concavity that happens at the nose. Our face kind of retracts in, and it happens all here in the piriformis. So by injecting that bolus, we can bring it back to its natural restoration. So those are my approaches. To recap, we're going to restore the volume that's been lost here in the deflation of your medial and lateral cheeks. That's going to usually fix most of your nasolabial folds anyways. Afterwards, if you really need to, we can add a fine bead here, but I would recommend using a cannula and going very superficially because there is a facial artery that runs parallel here. And then finally, if we do notice that this is starting to cave in a little bit, we can do a little bolus here and here. That's going to restore the natural position of the nose, and it is going to really help out that nasolabial fold as well. Alright guys, I am Fill Me In Dan. This is my journey to the mastery of Botox and fillers. I appreciate you being here.